Hey everybody, this is Jay with jrweldy.net, and I'm in my office today. It's Friday, 10/11/2019, and I wanted to go over some new acquisitions to my camera inventory and audio inventory. The first thing we're looking at is a Pico Stream unit. The Pico mic, the Pico gear, they go over many different things. This is a new acquisition to me. In the past, I've been using these Sony Bluetooth speakers, and they have not been real good. I've always struggled with my Osmo Plus, which I'm filming on right now, to get good audio out of these. And one of the reasons was because I really couldn't see what was going on in regards to the levels going in and out of the microphones and the camera. The camera would, if I hit the volume button on either the receiver or the transmitter on these units, it would severely change my audio quality, and there's certainly some examples on my YouTube channel in regards to this. So when I was looking around for an alternative, and I'm not an audio guy, and I'm certainly not versed in all of this, but I looked at Sennheiser, I looked at Rode, because I do have a Rode shotgun mic for different cameras. I came across this Pico gear unit, and it has a color screen on it, and it has the ability to monitor the input from the microphone. So I hemmed and hawed because it's a fairly pricey product at $449, I think. This is kind of an audio test for them. I'm looking at the Pico Stream right now mounted on my DJI Osmo Plus, and I'm hopefully getting good audio out of it. So I'm talking at a normal rate. Normally I would be yelling with the Sonys to make sure that I was getting good audio. So I'll be doing some reviews on this in the future, and that brings me to something that I want to talk about in regards to my YouTube channel. I'm a very informal channel, and I don't think of myself as a content creator. I'm an IT guy by trade. I've been doing it a little over 20 years. Do server wiring, VoIP phone systems, a little bit of security camera work from time to time, not a lot, and I really am happy not to be in security camera work if I don't have to be. I'm an amateur photographer, and I have some pretty good kit I think I'm building up because I've been spending some money to get some stuff. I'll start with some of the things that were existing. I got a few tripods over here, which I'm sure nobody wants to look at. And years ago, I purchased this little Nikon Coolpix, I think it is. Yeah, L110. And, you know, it's not a bad little camera. Uses rechargeable batteries or regular, I think, AA batteries. And the SD card. And I haven't used this camera in forever, so it may even just be completely seized. Okay. I hope there's no batteries in it. Uses 4 AA's, and battery life is not real good on it. It does video, and don't try and shoot fast with it, or do sport shooting, anything like that. It does not work, but it's an old camera. Then I went to a Sony A230, And this was literally only cost me like $85 to buy this camera. The lenses were another 20 bucks or something on eBay, you know, used. And this kind of got me into a better grade of photography, I think. I like this camera a lot, and again, I am a hobbyist, so take that into account when we're talking about this stuff. My next thing was I wanted to get into 360 stuff. So the Insta360 1X really piqued my interest, and I don't even think I have it out anymore. I had a Samsung, the little ball 3D thing, and I just did not get a lot of use out of that, being in an Apple-centric world here. This is a cool camera, and I, want to talk about the fact that let me move my camera here a little bit. See if that's not a better view on me. This thing out of the box was cool as hell. Turn it on, hit the record button, and put it on the selfie stick, which I have down here. And this little tripod came off of the Samsung Gear 360. Pop this on the selfie stick, and you're just cruising. And took a little while to get here. There was a customs issue coming out of China, and took about 2 to 3 weeks, I think. But that's a selfie stick, and it comes out pretty good, Software's pretty decent on it, and it's just a cool little 2-lens 3D camera. And I went out and I was taking some pictures, and I started doing some video, and I was like, man, I'm sure there's equipment that can do a lot better than the 1X. It is what it is. It's an action 360 cam, which is great. Good stills, good video. Again, the software, you can pretty much edit your video right on your cell phone and upload it to YouTube and Facebook, and really kind of get cool about it. Kept my eyes open on eBay and got the Pro. And used on eBay, uses a battery like that. Used on eBay, these things are, in the $1,800 to $2,200 range, depending on, availability at any given time. This camera is great. Portability is not wonderful on it. I do have a tripod that the Osmo Plus is sitting on right now that I use for this, and it does incredible video and photography. And you can, go out in the field with a tablet, a Windows tablet, and connect to it. And you can also, it's the next thing on my list to buy, really, and probably will buy it for Christmas for myself, is the VR headsets. And I'm looking at the Oculus Quest, is it? I don't want the Go. I think I want the Quest. I want a little more power in the headset that I purchased, without having all the connectivity, wired connectivity to, like my Sager gaming laptop or my Mac Pro behind me. I want to have that flexibility. But anyway, this camera is outstanding. And I could have afforded the Pro 2, not the Titan. I could have afforded the Pro 2, but I didn't want to mess with all the SD cards on the Pro 2. When I bought this, I got a really good deal on eBay. The guy had used it for a nonprofit organization, and it was barely used because the nonprofit organization honestly didn't go anywhere. And this one uses one SD card as opposed to the two, which I think has 6. Yeah, I think 6 SD cards. And again, honestly, for a prosumer like myself, post-editing and putting all this stuff together is really time-consuming. Just doing this video and getting your logo in and getting the audio done afterwards, that's why I wanted to buy something decent in audio, would be so that it would save me time in post-processing to put a video on YouTube. You get logo in, you got to worry about audio quality, color enhancements in Final Cut Pro, things like that eat up 2 hours of your time when you do a simple video. When you start doing 360 video and still images, there's stitching involved, and there's calibration of gimbal of the cameras before you start, and then a whole different post-process afterwards when you start talking about that kind of stuff. 2 rock-solid cameras. My Osmo Plus, a good platform for vlogging, I think. Now with the enhanced audio of the Pico gear, I think life is going to be pretty cool with that camera, because that camera sat in my case, camera case, for probably a year without me touching it, because I was so frustrated with the audio on it. The video quality is great, and I've got all the gear. I've got the extended Kramer stick for the Osmo. I've got the Z-axis mount, the light filters, shotgun mics, extra batteries. I even bought this Viewfind personal monitor to use with it. It uses a magnetic clip, and it has a little TV screen in there. So, if you're out in the field and you're using your phone, you can have this, cyborg type of thing on your glasses, and have the viewfinder right in here. I've probably used this twice, to be honest with you, especially since I've upgraded my iPhone to a 10. It's easier to use, more powerful, just to use that way. Okay, so the last item on this is a really weird camera called the Lytro Illume, and this is a discontinued camera. The company is out of business, and the technology purchased by some other company. You have to buy this used, and I bought this on eBay. Got really lucky. The batteries, if you can find them, are pretty pricey, and this had a battery that I've taken hundreds of pictures with this camera, and I like the camera a lot. It's kind of more of a studio style camera, I think, than out in the field action, although it has some pretty good features. You're not going to shoot outside at night and get any kind of detail. It just isn't that way. But it's a cool camera. It's a big frame in comparison to, say, the A230. You're definitely oranges and apples here. Very big camera, but it gives you some pretty cool shots, and it's certainly a conversation starter because nobody's seen this. But the guy that had this, I'm in Delaware, and he was actually Eastern Shore, Maryland, down in the Salisbury area, and it looked like he was probably a professional photographer. And he said he used it. I contacted him after I bought it, and he said he probably used it 2 or 3 times, and it went back into the box, and then decided to sell it. It has a pretty neat, swivel out screen there. Get that up a little closer, maybe, so you can see it. Anyway, it's kind of like a camera with Photoshop built into it, which is what a friend of mine, photographer friend of mine, said. He's a professional portrait photographer. She dismissed it immediately. She was like, okay, well, that's a toy, and sorry about your luck on spending, $300 on it to play around, basically. But, I think it's cool. I'm going to keep it in my camera inventory. So anyway, back to my channel. I'm informal. I know that there are plenty of very technical people that post on YouTube, for instance, about this Pico mic wireless system. They, oh, by the way, that's it right there. I know that, they're going to go into all the dB levels. They're professional videographers, content creators, that sort of thing on YouTube. I'm not that way. I'm going to just talk about my experience in regards to cool stuff. This is a hobby of mine. So in the near future, I'm going to be doing more Pico mic videos. I'm going to be doing a lot more 360 stuff. Unfortunately, it is fall, and I'm not going to be running around doing 360 videos in the snow, probably. I'm 57 years old, and the cold bothers me anymore. But, I'm going to do some content, hopefully do some 360 stuff here in the office, and just talk about, the pros and cons on things. Hopefully the mics will do great, and I'll point out some flaws in some of this equipment maybe, but I'm very happy at my level to be able to have almost studio grade audio, if I'm doing this right. Good 360 action camera, and a really, really good pro camera. I know it's a little long in the tooth, but for me, I feel as if I'm stepping up the quality of what I'm trying to do. And, I say this almost every video, and I would certainly appreciate you hitting the like button and leaving a comment if you enjoy listening to what I'm talking about. I don't make any money on YouTube. My total monetized value in however many years I've been doing this, I've been with my better half 17 years, and I was probably had a YouTube channel 3 years before that, so, close to 20 years. I make no money at all. I think it was like 3 or 4 cents monetized. Again, this is my hobby. I'm Jay with jrweldy.net. My website's 360 now, 360-degree website. Using 3D Vista software, and I think almost all of the video and still photography is done on the Insta360 Pro. Have a great day, everybody. Please stay safe and enjoy the upcoming holiday. Thanks.